You'll regret this, Matt. You'll never find anyone better than me. Even in that final moment, she couldn't help but take a jab at my self-esteem. I thought I'd feel relieved once she was gone, but honestly, I just feel empty. The apartment seems so quiet now. I keep expecting to hear her voice or see her lounging on the couch. But then I remember how she really saw me, and I know I made the right decision. I've blocked Wendy on all social media and my phone. I'm dreading having to explain the situation to our mutual friends, but I know it's necessary. I'm worried about what Wendy might tell them, given her threat to accuse me of abuse. I've decided to be proactive and reach out to a few close friends to explain my side of the story. For now, I'm focusing on myself. I've started going to the gym again, something I'd let slide while I was with Wendy. She always said she preferred me with a bit of a dad bod, and now I wonder if that was just another way to keep me insecure and dependent on her. I've also reached out to some old friends I'd lost touch with while I was with Wendy. It's been nice reconnecting with them, though I feel guilty for neglecting these friendships for so long. One of my college buddies, Alex, invited me to join his weekly basketball game. I used to love playing but stopped because Wendy said it took up too much of my time. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Financially, I'm still reeling a bit from the impact of supporting Wendy for so long. I've had to dip into my savings more than I'd like, and that house down payment I was saving for seems further away than ever. But I'm determined to get back on track. I've started tracking my expenses rigorously and have set up a new budget for myself. It's going to be a long road to rebuilding my self-esteem, but I'm committed to it. I never want to be in a situation like this again. I'm considering seeing a therapist to work through some of these issues, but I haven't made an appointment yet. Part of me is scared of what I might uncover if I start digging into why I let myself be treated this way for so long. Thank you all for helping me see the truth and find the strength to stand up for myself. I know I have a long way to go, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm on the right path. Update 2. It's been about a month since Wendy moved out, and I wanted to give you all an update on how things have been going. First off, I want to thank everyone again for their support and advice. It's been a challenging month, but I'm starting to feel like myself again. The first week after Wendy left was tough. I felt lonely and kept second-guessing my decision. The apartment felt too big and too quiet. I found myself reaching for my phone to text her countless times, only to remember why she wasn't there anymore. But every time I started to miss her, I reminded myself of what she'd said about me and how she'd been using me all along. I've been keeping busy with work and my renewed social life. The weekly basketball games with Alex have become a highlight. It's not just about the exercise, it's the camaraderie, the friendly trash talk, the post-game beers. It reminds me of who I was before Wendy, and I like that version of myself. About 2 weeks ago, I ran into one of Wendy's friends, Melissa, at the grocery store. I was prepared for it to be awkward, but to my surprise, Melissa actually apologized to me. She told me she'd always felt uncomfortable with how Wendy treated me but never knew how to bring it up. She also revealed some things about Wendy that I hadn't known. Apparently, Wendy had a history of latching onto guys with good jobs and manipulating them into supporting her. I was just the latest in a long line of men she'd used. Melissa also confirmed that Wendy had indeed been fired from her bartending job for repeatedly showing up late and hungover. Hearing all this was like a final puzzle piece clicking into place. It hurt to realize just how thoroughly I'd been deceived, but it also helped me let go of any lingering doubts about ending the relationship. I thanked Melissa for her honesty and left feeling a strange mix of sadness and relief. On the positive side, I've been making progress in other areas of my life. I've been going to the gym regularly and have already noticed some improvements in my physique and energy levels. I've started meal prepping on Sundays, which has helped me eat healthier and save money on takeout. I've also been rediscovering old hobbies. I used to love photography before I met Wendy, but I'd let it fall by the wayside. Last weekend, I dug out my old camera and spent a day at the local botanical gardens, just taking pictures of flowers and trees. It felt good to create something just for the joy of it, not for likes or follows. Last weekend, I went out with a group of friends for the first time since the breakup. We went to a new brewery that had opened up downtown. It felt good to laugh and enjoy myself without worrying about Wendy's demands or mood swings. One of my friends even suggested setting me up with her coworker, but I told her I'm not ready to date yet. I want to focus on myself for a while and make sure I'm in a better headspace before I consider getting into another relationship. Financially, I'm doing much better now that I'm not supporting 2 people on my salary. I've started putting money aside for a vacation I've always wanted to take but could never afford while I was with Wendy. I'm thinking about a solo trip to Japan next spring. The idea of traveling alone is a bit daunting, but also exciting. There have been some awkward moments with mutual friends who don't know the full story. A few have asked why Wendy and I broke up, and I've been honest but brief in my explanations. Most have been understanding, though a couple of Wendy's closer friends have been cold towards me. I try not to let it bother me, they don't know the whole story, and I don't owe them an explanation. I did end up seeing a therapist, Dr. Jansen, and it's been helpful. We've had 3 sessions so far, and while it's early days, I feel like I'm starting to understand some of the patterns that led me to this situation. Dr. Jansen has been helping me work through my insecurities and set healthier boundaries for future relationships. Overall, I'm feeling more positive about the future. It's not always easy, and there are still moments when I feel down or lonely. But I know I made the right decision, and I'm committed to becoming a stronger, more confident version of myself. Update 3. Hey everyone, it's been about 3 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some recent developments. Life has been pretty good lately. I've settled into a new routine, and I'm feeling more like myself than I have in a long time. The gym has become a regular part of my schedule, and I've even started taking a cooking class on weekends. It's nice to have hobbies and interests that are just for me. Work has been going well too. Without the constant stress of Wendy's demands, I've been able to focus more on my career. I recently got assigned to lead a big project, which is both exciting and challenging. My boss mentioned that if this project goes well, I might be in line for a promotion next year. I've been making progress in therapy too. Dr. Jansen and I have been working on building my self-esteem and recognizing my own worth. It's a slow process, but I'm starting to see improvements. I catch myself standing a little taller, speaking up more in meetings, and generally feeling more confident in my own skin. Now, for the big news, Wendy tried to contact me last week. She called from an unknown number, and I almost didn't answer. When I heard her voice, I felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and surprisingly, pity. Wendy started off by saying she missed me and had made a huge mistake. She claimed she'd done a lot of soul searching and realized how badly she'd treated me. She even said she'd gotten a job as a receptionist and was learning to support herself. For a moment, I felt a twinge of the old feelings I had for her. But then I remembered all the lies and manipulation, and I knew I couldn't go back to that. I told Wendy I was glad she was doing better, but that we had no future together. I wished her well and ended the call. After hanging up, I felt relieved. I realized I no longer had any desire to be with Wendy. The hold she once had over me was gone. It was a liberating feeling. In other news, I did end up going on that vacation I mentioned in my last update. I took a solo trip to Costa Rica, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the courage, or funds, for while I was with Wendy. It was an amazing experience. I went hiking in the rainforest, learned to surf, and met some great people at the hostel where I stayed. One night, sitting on the beach watching the sunset, I had a moment of clarity. I realized that while the experience with Wendy was painful, it taught me a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. I'm more aware of red flags now, and I've learned to value myself more. Since I've been back, I've been trying to maintain that vacation mindset of adventure and self-discovery. I've started exploring my city more, trying new restaurants and attending local events. Last weekend, I went to a photography exhibition that really inspired me to pick up my camera more often. I'm still not actively looking to date, but I'm open to the possibility if the right person comes along. For now, I'm enjoying my independence and focusing on personal growth. I've even started volunteering at a local animal shelter on Saturday mornings. It's been incredibly rewarding, and it's nice to feel like I'm making a positive difference. Financially, things are looking up too. Without Wendy's expenses, I've been able to put a significant amount into savings each month. That house down payment doesn't seem so far out of reach anymore. I've also started investing a small amount in the stock market, something I've always been interested in but never felt confident enough to try before. My relationships with friends and family have improved too. I've been making an effort to stay in touch more regularly and be more present when we're together. My sister commented the other day that I seem happier and more relaxed than she's seen me in years. Thank you all again for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement have been invaluable. I'm in a much better place now, both mentally and emotionally, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. While I wouldn't wish my experience with Wendy on anyone, I'm grateful for the lessons it taught me and the growth it's led to. Here's to continuing to move forward and build a life I'm truly happy with.